I have been working on my monthly budgets and finally things are the way that I want them to. Making formatting decisions such as what columns to include, what text to include, and the text style and size can be difficult. I have already listed all my bills, but now I need to include my income information. Calculating and analyzing numerical information is really what Excel is intended to be used for. You can use it at home to create widgets like this one, or in the workplace to create complex spreadsheets that keep track of company finances, inventory, and more. To be able to use Excel to accomplish this task, it's important that you understand formulas. In school, you must have used formulas to calculate math problems like 2 plus 2 is equals to 4, or maybe 20% of $100. Microsoft Excel uses these same formulas to perform spreadsheet calculations. A formula is an equation that performs a calculation using values in the worksheets. You probably used to see equations like 2 plus 2 with an equal sign after it. But in Excel, every formula starts with equal sign. Now, this may be a little confusing, but I promise it will make sense. In C3, you can see that I have my net pay of $1,500. And in C4, the money I made from my extra job that month. Let's say I want to add those two numbers together so that total income for that month appears in C5. Let's select C5. Use your keyboard to enter an equal sign. Notice how the formula bar changes. By entering the equal sign, makes the formula bar active. You can now see a cancel icon, which removes the information from the formula bar, an enter icon, which will accept what you type, and the function type that provide you with some other mathematical options. Let's go back to C5 and finish our formula. We want to add my $1,500 and $200. So we'll just type the first number and then use the keyboard to enter the addition sign. And then the second number. So the addition sign lets Excel know that an add operation is to be performed. Okay, now that I have my formula entered into the cell, I can press the enter key on my keyboard or click the enter command on the formula bar. And now I can see that Excel added 1,500 and 200 and placed the answer in C5 where I typed the formula. So another way to create a formula is by using cell references. Instead of typing equal to 1,500 plus 200 and then getting the answer, I can use a cell reference in the formula. A cell reference is when you use a cell address in a formula and refer to that specific cell by name. For example, the cell address of this cell is C3. This cell is where the column C and row 3 intersects. Now let's try the formula using cell references. Select the cell where you want the answer to appear. Type the equal sign to let Excel know that we are writing a formula. Type the cell number that contains the first number to be added. Type the addition sign. And now type the cell number that contains the second number. Press Enter key on your keyboard. So you're probably wondering why we might want to use cell references. It doesn't seem any easier to type the cell address as well. Well, let's say that I realize that I entered my net pay incorrectly. Now, all I have to do is change the number in cell C3, and as I change it, my total income in D5 automatically changes. I will not see a change in C5 because I didn't use a cell reference, but instead typed the numbers in the formula. Cell references are especially important to know about when working with columns that contain many numbers that change regularly. As you have probably noticed, in most of the Microsoft Office application, there's usually more than one way to accomplish a task. In this formula, I typed a cell reference as I wrote the formula, but you can also use point and click method to select cells so that you don't have to type cell references each time. Let's see how the point and click method works while creating a simple subtraction formula. I have the total amount of my January expenses in cell C29. Now to calculate how much money I have after paying all my January bills, I just need to write a formula in cell C30 that subtracts my January expenses from my January income. So we'll select the cell where we want the answer to appear and then insert the equal sign. Now all I need to do is left click the first cell that is included in the formula. As you can see, the border of the cell changes to the marching ants and the cell reference D5 appears in the formula bar. You can see the cursor is in C30, so I will now put a subtraction sign to let Excel know that a subtraction action needs to be performed. Now, just left click the next cell in the formula. Since we want to subtract our January expenses, we'll select C29. Now it appears in my formula. If we have more cells to subtract, we'll just repeat these steps until the formula is complete. Now I'm ready to click enter. And now the formula shows me how much money I have remaining after paying all my bills. You will find the point and click method of selecting cells is really helpful because often it's just easier and faster to use the mouse instead of the keyboard. We have created formulas using the addition and subtraction signs, but you can also use multiplication and division signs in your formulas. All four of these mathematical signs or symbols are called operators because they tell Excel what type of mathematical operation needs to be performed.